welcome back to Grow with the Chicken Lady. My name is Angela. I am located in Central Mississippi, Zone 8B, and today we're going to talk a little bit about peppers. Y'all have to excuse me if y'all see me wiping sweat because it is all hot out here. So, like I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about peppers, and I'm going to bring you along with me while I go ahead and I up pot two of my early varieties. But just so you know, I like to keep my seeds in their original packaging still. The ones I save seed from, I have the little brown envelopes that are in there. Those are varieties that I've saved seeds from, but these little photo containers that come in the box of them, they're really great for this, and that's what I use for all my seeds. So to start off with my sweet peppers that I will be growing, sweet peppers that I'll be growing this year. Um, I've chosen the Hostinator Bell Hybrid. This is the hybrid variety that I'm going to be working on doing this year. So this is the Hostinator Bell Hybrid Pepper F1. Then we have the YOLO Wonder Bell Pepper that I'll be doing. Then I have the Chinese Giant. Then we have just the regular Hostinator Bell is what I'll be doing with that one. And then we have the big red. Then I have Cherokee Bell. And I do have a lot of bell peppers because I use a lot of bell peppers throughout the year, through the winter. I will freeze them, dehydrate them, and just use them for lots of different things. Another sweet, well, it's not sweet, it has a little heat to it. I believe, let's see if the Scoville's left listed on here. Uh, Yeah, the Scoville units aren't listed on here. And what I mean by Scoville units, that is the rating system that's used to determine how hot peppers are. Sweet peppers usually don't have any heat to them. You'll use the Scoville unit more or less whenever you get to like your jalapenos, serranos, things like that. But this year I'll be trying the ají cachucha. And then we also have the habanada. I've grown these for several years, and when I'm making hot sauce, if I want a really strong habanero flavor but not too much of the heat, this is what I use and substitute for a habanero. So that is my sweet pepper variety, or my bell peppers. On my hot peppers, I'm going to be growing just your regular orange habanero. I also have the Sugar Rush Stripey. And I'm also growing a Sugar Rush Peach variety. I didn't have the packaging for it, just I had some seeds that I had saved. So that's those two. I'm growing a Boquinho Yellow Poquillo pepper. These are really, really good. They're not very hot. I like eating them right off the plant. They're actually really, really good. But they could be hot for people that doesn't really like anything hot. About the size of about the taste of a jalapeno, but they're a little more on the sweet side. All right. I'm also growing the lemon drop. I make a salsa that actually has these in there, so I grow a lot of these for that. There's not a picture of the pepper on there, but I'm gonna. Well, yeah, there is those. I'm gonna be growing fish peppers. And the fish peppers are also called candy cane peppers. They're these little ones right here that have like the stripes and stuff on them. They're real pretty in the garden. I have a Halcinator jalapeno that I'm going to be growing. Then I have a Colossus jalapeno. We'll be using these for stuffing and stuff like that. Sorry, a carpenter bee is in here somehow. And then my early variety that I have is going to be my jalapeno early. These are only 75 days, whereas the Colossus jalapeno and the Hostinator Bell, they take anywhere from 85 to 90 days. And then the hybrid version that I got from Haas, the jalapeno uh, hybrid F1, this one right here, the package says it only takes 60 days to maturity on this one. I don't think I have a plant that's big enough for this yet because I started these a little late. All right, so that's all the pepper varieties that I'm going to be growing this year. Oh, and a serrano. I had a serrano. I'm going to be growing a serrano as well. That's going to be this one right here, just a regular serrano. Um, those are all the pepper varieties that I'm going to be growing this year. Um, I'm more focused on jalapenos, habaneros, things like that, just because I'm trying to build back up the supply that I had in my freezer, what I had dehydrated. We use habaneros for salsas. I make my own habanero pepper flakes because we really enjoy it on chicken and things like that. Also, we do a lot of fresh eating. We make a lot of fresh things with using the peppers as well. I cook a lot with them. We do stuffed jalapenos, stuffed bell peppers. Stuffed bell peppers are called chili rellenos. So I do make a lot of those, and I'll bring you along as I do those. But let me get everything set up that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be potting up two of my jalapeno earlies. They are trying to flower, so I want to go ahead and get them set into pots. And it's just they're going to be in fabric pots. All my peppers are going to be in fabric pots. I may have two or three of them that will end up in the ground, but for the most part, they're going to be in fabric pots. But these I really need to get potted up, and they'll live here in the greenhouse until it's time for them to go out. So I'm not worried about them in the cold weather. So I'll bring you back as soon as I get everything set up. Alrighty, everyone, I have everything set up. We are going to be potting up this jalapeno early right here. I don't know if you can see this, but as I said earlier, it has flower buds that are coming in. That's going to be those little buds that are right there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's little buds right there that are coming in. So this really needs to go ahead and get potted up. All of my other pepper plants are doing great, so I'm not worried about those. And just for an FYI, some people like to, when their plants get about this size, they like to go ahead and pinch off the top of the plant because they usually wait till there's like 3 or 4 true leaves on it. Because what you can do is when you pinch off the top of the plant, in the little elbow part of the stems right here where the leaves are, you can see that little bit of part that's green right there in that corner. This will actually branch out and make a whole branch off the side of the plant, and that way you can make your plant a little bit more bushy. Some people really like to do that. I'm not one of those people. I really don't prefer that just because the plant will actually become naturally bushy itself. Like this one right here, you can see once it reached the top of the plant, move that leaf and you can see once it reached this full height, it went ahead and started branching anyway. So I'm not worried about pinching mine off. It'll stay whole like this. So let's go ahead and get this done. So we're just going to move the straw back so that we can get this planted. And what I'm going to do is when I dig the hole, I'm going to set the cup down into the hole, and I'm going to make sure that my soil is right at the same level as I have the soil in the cup, because you don't want to plant the stem of the plant, because if you do, it could have the potential to become rotted at the stem, and then you're just kind of growing it for nothing because you've rotted the stem and there's no more plant for you. So go ahead and I'm going to loosen this up just a bit, pull it back like that. Kind of need to dig just a little bit more. And if you're interested in seeing how to start the seeds, how to pot up a pepper plant, any of that, I had a video that came out of doing odd jobs in my backyard. And I was actually starting a few seeds. They weren't pepper seeds, they were some cucamelon seeds, but they're about the same size as pepper seeds, and you start them the same way. And then I actually had to pot up some bell peppers on yesterday. So not yesterday, but on that video. And those are these right here, and they got potted up as well. And all that's in that video for you if you'd like to go check that out. All right, so you see my soil level is about the same level as what's in the pot. So I'm going to dig just a little bit more because I'm going to add a little bit of worm castings in the bottom of there. So let me get those. Alrighty. So just a bag of worm castings from the store. It doesn't matter the brand or any of that. I'm just going to grab a little bit in my hand, dump it into the bottom of the hole. And then I'm also going to get some fertilizer. I have some Dr. Earth's organic, not organic, granular fertilizer here. It is organic also, but I just got a little bit in my hand here. Dump it in the bottom of the hole as well. Mix it in so that the roots aren't just sitting exactly on that, because you don't want the roots to just sit on top of the fertilizer or the worm castings. So mix that in. Make sure my hole's dug back out some. Double checking my size for my pot, and it's good to go. So I'm going to take out my label, and then we're going to pull out the plant. I squeeze the pot like this. I'm not hurting anything. I'm just loosening the root ball up so that I can get it out of the pot. And there we go. As you can see, the nice pretty roots on this one right here. So it started to become just a little bit root bound, but I'm not worried about it because they become air prune just a bit. And so they're going to come back and bounce back just perfectly fine. So there we go. Now we're going to fill back in on top of this one. And I just take the soil, fill back in on top of it, pat it down, and then cover back over with my straw mulch that is there. There we go. And then if you're labeling, be sure to put your labels in, because I forgot that before, and I've become better this year at labeling because I'm trying to make sure I have all my varieties listed and I know what grows well and all that, which all of these varieties except for the ají cachucha I've grown, and so I know which ones work well here, but just kind of to keep them separated, especially since I'm growing so many varieties of bales and so many varieties of jalapenos. So that just, it helps me. So there we go. All right, there, that one, the jalapeno early is already planted and set. I'm going to go ahead and I'll set it down on the ground. That way we can get the other bag up here and get the second one planted. And then I will water them in afterwards. That's that one. All right. We'll do the same thing with this one. And these bags, I did amend them back in the fall. So they do have fertilizer in here that should be already breaking down and available for the plant as soon as I go ahead and put them in, because it will take time for the organic fertilizer that I'm adding to the bottom, the Dr. Earth. It'll take time up to, I believe, a month to 3 months for that to break down. So by the time it starts to break down, the plant is already great from the previous, I believe it's a month. Yeah, I want to say it's a month. But anyway, so it's, like I said, that's already broken down and it'd be great for the next one. So, alrighty, here's the second jalapeno early. We'll get it planted up today. And as you can see, it started branching off just like the other one did. And it also has the little bitty flower buds right there. So we're going to go ahead and get this one done. All right, that's perfect there. Let me get my fertilizer and worm castings. Okay, and I'm not going to bring the bag back on the video. I'm just going to grab a little handful, put it in there. Then grab a little handful of the granulated fertilizer. Squish it around in the bottom. all good. Alrighty. And then now squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There we go. And you can see that the roots on that are just perfect. They're not root bound or anything. They just started hitting the bottom. So this is perfect and good to go. I need to add a little bit back into the hole. All right. That puts it right at soil level. When I fill back in, it should be just right. And any of this straw that falls down into the hole beside it, I'm not really worried about it because this straw, at least on the bag, it says that it composts within 3 months. So I'm not worried about that at all. And again, regular fertilization is the key with that, especially when you're using like a straw mulch or anything like that. So we're going to put this back over. There we go. And then our little label will go right back in it. Y'all, I'm one of those crazy people that have OCD about the leaves being dirty. So sorry. All right, well, that's all there is to it. If you've learned something, you like the content of my videos, please go ahead and consider subscribing, liking the video, and hitting that bell notification so you can be notified when I upload videos. We do a little bit of everything. We're going to have a little bit of cooking. We're going to do some things with our animals, some chickens, turkeys. We feature some dogs and cats every now and again. So, well, I really appreciate your time and I hope you have a great one.